So, hello, good evening. My name is Chris. I'm your host tonight. I'm standing in for Nikki, who couldn't make it tonight, but I'm happy to jump in here and moderate this first CVA Open Stage Night. So in the announcement we said the Open Stage Nights are going to bring a lot of energy to the wintry nights here in this part of the world, and so I want to warmly welcome you, everybody, our viewers from everywhere. We have a good amount of people tuning in here, which is great. Welcome, and thanks for joining us tonight. I would also like to welcome our panel tonight, our presenters. And as you may know, CVA Open Stage Night is a new monthly format that we're doing at CVA. And it's designed to bring, to showcase our new members or relatively new members in the CVA, the Crypto Valley Association here, and also showcase a little bit the innovation potential that we have. The idea is, of course, to connect you among each other. So they're the CVA membership, but also obviously folks who are tuning in from outside of the organization, who are looking for to invest in promising startups, who are looking to get solutions for their questions and problems, technological solutions that these guys can provide, or also obviously collaborations among each other. So this is designed to connect people. It's designed to showcase the massive potential that we have here at CVA and in the Crypto Valley in general. So that's the purpose. If you are a CVA member and you would like to showcase your enterprise, your startup, or your established enterprise, please give us send us an email at info@cryptovalley.swiss, and we can make this happen for you. Equally, if somebody wants to contact one of the folks presenting tonight, and somehow you don't catch their info, you can also write us at info@cryptovalley.swiss and just request who you want to be put in touch with, and we're happy to do that for you. So I don't want to waste all the time, because the interesting part is coming now. We have 4 presenters, 4 enterprises, startups who are presenting tonight, and I'm super excited about this. I know some of them a little bit, but I'm also super curious what's going to happen and what they have to tell us. We have in this order Maya from DeepSuqare, Luc from Arianee, Olga from Sparrow, Olga and Maxime from Sparrow Urbanomic. I have the wrong name here, so Urbanomics, which is also a new here, and we have Ferdinand from Allianceblock, and they will have each about 7 minutes to show their pitch deck or their slide deck and introduce their company, and we have a couple of minutes for Q&A afterwards for each one of them, and we'll have, hopefully at the end of the hour, we have some time for additional questions and some discussion if possible. But the focus really is on showcasing those enterprises, showcasing the initiatives and the innovation that's happening right here. So please, to the stage, Maya from DeepSuqare, please.
Thank you, Chris. Just give me a second. Can you see it?
Yep,
okay.
Perfect.
Thank you. So first of all, thank you, Crypto Valley Association, for this opportunity and amazing community you guys are building. As Chris mentioned, I'm Maya. I'm head of marketing here at DeepSuqare. And well, what is DeepSuqare? At its core, DeepSuqare is sustainable high-performance computing as a service. What we do, we straddle 2 worlds. On one hand, traditional business, on the other hand, crypto world. We combine them, embrace them, and offer or bring to world this beautiful ecosystem for high-performance computing. But let's start from the beginning. What is high-performance computing, or HPC? Well, it refers to solutions that enable data processing and performing complex calculations at high speeds. So basically, supercomputers or computers on steroids would be maybe more acceptable to normal people like us. Applications of high performance computing are vast. Use cases go from artificial intelligence, especially its subsets, machine learning and deep learning, prototyping, weather modeling, genome sequencing, you name it. And just to bring more perspective to the story, if we talk about, for example, animated movies, and in particular, for example, Monsters or How to Train Your Dragon, if you would run a rendering job for 90-minute footage for the movie, it would take you as long as 10,000 years to render everything. But if you do it with high performance computing, it's as fast as 6 weeks. So this is the amount of computation we're talking about here. Obviously, market is growing, and by 2028, the projections are that worldwide it's going to be worth around 56 billion US dollars. Europe is lacking behind US and China, but it's still remarkable market opportunity of $12 billion by 2028. And where is the catch here? Well, those beasts of machines are extremely power hungry and not that extreme environmentally friendly. And when I'm talking about environmentally friendly, I'm not just talking about the power, the electricity taken from the grid for computation, but also for the side activities. First place talking about cooling, then side effects like CO2 emissions, wastewater, waste of heat, and so on. On the other hand, the industry is dominated by big players, and this entire oligopoly situation is not good for innovation and small companies like startups that are actually at the forefront of innovation. They drive innovation in general in technology. And if we add a lack of transparency and fair pricing into this entire image, then we get the better scope of better view of the problem. But solution is quite simple, I would say. Solution to this is community-led platform that will bridge, is actually already bridging the gap between compute efficiency and sustainability, and to deliver transparency. Additionally, if we add to this entire equation, if we add ease of use and accessibility, then we get this beautiful ecosystem that we're building. DeepSuqare ecosystem relies on DeepSuqare Grid, basically decentralized network of sustainable high performance computing clusters powered by renewable energy, and in any case, heat generated is being reused. We empower an ecosystem with blockchain to deliver transparency and support decentralization. And on top of it, we're building marketplace for applications that benefit from high performance computing. So if we go back to the beginning of the story, and for example, artist that is going to render movies, he just goes to DeepSuqare platform, finds the application he wants to use, and he's ready to go. So basically the entire story about the hardware optimization is abstracted from the end user. When it comes to tokens, the entire system relies on two token model. On one hand, we have DPS token or DeepSuqare token, that is investment or asset token, represents community membership and to its holders grants voting and staking rights. On the other hand, we have Square token, which is a utility token, will be tradable on exchanges and will be used as a payment method for buying or paying for compute resources. In any case, those two tokens are locked on one-on-one ratio. What we did so far, we installed a proof of concept cluster in Sion, and actually that cluster is connected to Sion's district heating network. Full software stack version 1 is up and running. Our users can already access applications such as OpenFOAM, Blender, Jupyter notebooks, and many more to come. So far, we raised $2.5 million together with a bit more than 230 investors. And at this moment, we are well into the second round of the private sale. none of this would be possible without the amazing team that is behind this project. And the team is actually, in my opinion, is wonderful balance between experience and expertise from business world and expertise in technical world, from experts in blockchain, high performance computing, data science, artificial intelligence engineers, and so on. Very well complemented with our advisors. And once again, without this team, this group of wonderful human beings, we would not be able to deliver this project to world and support innovation in Europe. So if you want to talk more about the project, if you want to connect with me or any other of the team members, feel free to reach out, and yeah, we're open to discuss. We'll stop sharing now. I think I'm in my 7 minutes.
Yep, you did well. Perfectly spot landed on 7 minutes.
Yay.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Maya. And I would like to also encourage everybody to connect with all of the projects that you were seeing presented today. Meaning, get on their Telegram, get on their Instagram, or whatever you have.
LinkedIn.
So
No,
that's fantastic. Maya, can I ask you?
Yes.
Are we okay with the audio?
Yes.
Maya?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I have a question for you. When you're talking about, yeah, it's a little bit interrupted in between, but I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear both of you well.
So when I say when you say sustainable, what do you mean exactly?
Well, sustainable is one of our core values, and it's actually embedded in everything we do. So we practice sustainability through the entire process. So from the input, which is renewable energy, as I mentioned, then the sole design of the hardware and immersion cooling system that we are using actually enables us to, so we don't need additional electricity for fans, and we are not traditional data centers, so we are not fridge for the computers, but actually, because thanks to the immersion cooling system, we can capture all the heat and then reuse it. And as I mentioned, the cluster in Sion is connected to the district heating system in Sion. So if someone is from Sion now, probably if it's cold in Switzerland, we are partially heating their houses.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Yeah, I wasn't lying when I said we are actually capturing energy from those projects in the cold winter nights. So that's literally what you're doing. I love it. That's really cool. And I have another question for you here from the chat real quick before we move on. So here's a question about how did you raise the money? So how did you raise those 2.5 million from 230 investors? So can you share a little bit the approach there for others to
private sale, invitation only. So we wanted to give access to, so not to give access, but to attract people who will be, who will follow the project long term, not just pump and dump.
Yeah.
So that's
nice. Okay. And team size, you showed a little bit already from the on your slides before.
I think,
can you just kind of give us a number here?
Yes, core team plus additional team members, it's around 25 people working on this project now.
Okay, very cool. So congrats. Yeah, this is a cool project, and hopefully we have some more time for questions later, but I'm going to move onwards now to the next project. Thanks again, Maya. And Luc, you're up next. Can you share your screen and
Absolutely.
take it away?
All right. So here we go. Share screen. And you should be good now. So very quickly, Arianee, we started 4 years ago with really being extremely interested in what NFTs were, which at the time was, it was more the CryptoPunks and CryptoKitties period. We had been extremely interested in what this technology could do, participate in the ERC 721 standard. And the big question for us was not just how do you make NFTs, but more like what can NFT unleash? Like what new experiences can an NFT actually unleash? And so Arianee, really what you started with is working mainly with the luxury and fashion industry to use the NFT as a complement to really create new experiences. And here, rather than try to go a bit deeper on how everything works, I'm going to show some examples of new experiences that we've over the years we've managed to actually create with those different brands. So first here, an early experiment is what we did with Agent 33 and Decentraland, where Agent 33 is a small brand that a lot of stars like Billie Eilish and they made a pair of sunglasses, which came actually with a physical pair that you see on the left and a wearable on Decentraland. So really the idea here was how do we actually give an extension of the product, the physical product, and a life in the metaverse. The interesting thing with this is that while we sold, actually they sold all their pair of sunglasses, their entire limited edition collection. They actually managed to also sell some, and every glasses came with a wearable. They also sold a significant amount of purely digital wearable, which was actually one of the first time we actually really realized that people wanted digital goods, pure digital goods. Another example is something that's been worked with Kitten, which is a fashion brand or fashion label. And here the big was how do you actually use the NFT to add an augmented reality experience. So this sweater, this hoodie actually came with an augmented reality experience. And all that really facilitated by the NFT and the fact that actually it came with this file format and of course transferable to the next owner. Another example here is a sale that we did of sneakers in collaboration with 3 crypto projects. We did that actually just back in October. And here the idea, same thing, was to actually have a physical product that came with a digital sneakers. And that was in collaboration. That was actually really in collaboration with Futures Factory and Satoshi Studio, which are labels. Satoshi Studio, an early label that did sneakers with an NFT component that we facilitated, and Futures Factory, which actually now is a marketplace purely for digital sneakers. So once again, this kind of interesting movement of people wanting digital fashion and pure digital fashion, even though here it came with a physical piece and a digital piece. Another experiment that we did was with AZ Factory. Was actually for the Albert Elbaz homage show at Paris Fashion Week this year. Where they actually had like about 50 different designers provide a specific design inspired by what Albert Elbaz has done over his career. And the last one was a purely digital model, which you could actually see in AR during the show. And that's what you see, that little screenshot that you see on the right. Turn off the music, sorry. A quite interesting experiment though, not experiment, but actually something that actually is completely live with Breitling, is probably one of the most intricate implementation of an NFT today. And that's what's been done with their digital certificates for all their products. So since January 1st of this year, every single Breitling watch comes with an NFT-based digital passport facilitated by Arianee. So it's a digital identity for your product. And so what does it unleash? Like, what's the new experience unleash? Well, the extremely interesting thing in this that comes with this this digital passport, and of course I'll share the video where they show everything, and you don't have to to listen to their beautiful music. But it's this idea that with the digital passport, actually, I just claim the digital passport on a non-custodial wallet. We actually provide a white label non-custodial wallet that you can use, where you can actually build your own. Since it's once again, it's an NFT. You can actually access you can use this digital passport as an access key to their e-warranty system. So usually, traditionally, the way their e-warranty system works, and still actually is still accessible this way, is that you create an account, you register yourself with your email, password, your first name, last name, date of birth, address, and all those different information, plus, name of your grandmother and the last 10 years of your browsing experience, because you've connected, and then you can access, because you've proven who you are and you've proven you're actually a person. Here, the idea is that they're trying to shift this way of connecting to your warranty system, saying we don't necessarily need all this personal information that we're asking you to give us. The reason why we're asking this is just to vet that you are, a legitimate person, a legitimate customer. And so what we're doing here is that if you can just sign with your wallet just a signature, the signed message that proves that you have a NFT of Breitling in your wallet, then you can just bypass all this inscription and go straight into the warranty system. So the idea being that we do not need actually all this personal information. We have another way to vet that you are a legitimate person, and it's just to know that you can prove us that you actually own one of our products. It's actually something really interesting that that Breitling actually calls like their anonymous clienteling solution, with this idea that once again, there's another way to deal with people online, and it's really in line with certain ideas of traditional luxury, with this idea of discretion. You don't actually need to take all those information and to be snoopy into snoops into what your customer actually is doing and who they are. You just want to provide the greatest service that you can, and you just need to actually know that this person is legitimate. The final example that I give here is actually something that you can test even if you don't have a product from one of those luxury brands. Is a platform we just launched, which is actually a reapplication of what we've done with Breitling on the technological side, and it's a token-gated chat platform where that is completely decentralized, where you can actually connect. Really simply, you just connect with your wallet, and based on what NFTs or tokens that you actually have in your wallet, you can actually access different lounges and different rooms. And this you can actually try it on spkz.io. Once again, it was a way for us to showcase what we've done with Breitling, but make it accessible to anybody, even those who do not have actually a Breitling. And of course, what's interesting here is that it's a way for today. It's mainly for purely digital NFTs or tokens, but tomorrow we could actually take different brands that have actually created the NFTs, all the brands that I've shown, for instance, and many more that we work with. We work also with the Richemont Group. We work with Bash, with Audemars Piguet. Could actually create specific communities only accessible to the people that have their products. So like those kind of VIP communities, and where you wouldn't have to register or anything, you would just have to prove, sign with your wallet and show that you actually are an owner of one of their products. So that's my kind of quick portfolio of a bunch of different things we've done with Arianee and other brands, and I'll welcome all your questions.
Fantastic, Luc. Thank you so much for this fascinating tour d'horizon, what you guys are doing. Very cool. I'm gonna have to admit that I'm a little biased because this is one of the fields that are very close to my heart and our company's heart as well. So I'm just super excited to see what you guys are doing, and congrats on. I think the last time we chatted, some of these things were starting to materialize, and now you're really getting in there, and I think it's absolutely fascinating and great. We have a question actually from our Q&A here from Jaime. Why do you do blockchain and decentralization for this case? And I'm not sure which one from the different ones that you referred to, but I think it was maybe connected to the registry, like the certificate, Arianee, yeah, the certificate of authenticity, I believe.
Yeah, so it is true that the digital passport actually replaces the certificate of authenticity, but to us, it's actually more than that. It's also access to it's really a proof of ownership, and it enables a bunch of different new experiences. The thing that we actually found fascinating with NFTs when we started was that today, of course, a lot of those certificate of authenticity, certificate of ownerships, or digital passports are more and more replaced by those luxury brands by registry. You can register your product online, and then it proves that you actually own your product. But this is not an actual equivalent to the paper-based certificate of authenticity that you used to receive from the brand, because the paper-based certificate of authenticity, you can just pass it along to the next owner, and you can actually share it with whoever you want without having to ask permission or access to the brand. When you actually talk about an NFT, it's just like it's an actual, it's just like your paper-based certificate of authenticity, but digitally, because you truly own your certificate of authenticity. You're not just, an entry registered within the brand's database, and it makes a major difference for all the different applications that can be built around without having to ask for an API.
Yeah. Yeah, and from what I could see, like, yeah, yeah, no, and from what I can see, look, I mean, it looks like, I mean, it also enables those extra those Web3 features, right? Where you can like it gives you like a passport access, so to speak, to particular, maybe to a chat room, maybe, or to a corner of the metaverse, to a building in a metaverse, or a certain club. So in a way, it enables this sort of transition into the metaverse environments as well. I have another question here from the chat. The question is about, can you trade the NFT on the sneakers, watches, etc.? Can you trade that separately from the underlying? So I think there's a lot of times when we discuss NFTs, there's this question: how do these things relate to the physical and the NFT? Is that independent, or how does that work? Can you just give us 2 or 3 words about this?
Yeah, well, I'm fascinated by all the different NFTs are being traded. Our goal when we use NFTs is not necessarily to make it an NFT that has value that can be traded. It's mainly has value because it doesn't necessarily resell value. What's interesting is what it actually represents. It represents your ownership into this product, and so we don't expect the certificate to be sold separately, because we still think, and that's actually something really important to most of the brands we work with. They still think that their product is where the true value lies, and we're just a complement, and the NFT is just a complement to the physical product. This being said, it would be possible to sell it separately, and you could imagine some actually interesting things where, for instance, if you look at the Agent 33 example, where you have a physical glass and it comes with a wearable. Maybe some people are not interested in the wearable, and they're just like, well, I'll sell my rights to the wearable to someone else that actually wants it. And just for instance, when I said we actually sold wearables separately, the wearables were sold for $50, when the sunglasses with the wearables were sold for $200. So you could actually imagine a world where you buy the physical pair for $200 and sell the digital for $50, and you're actually happy because you made $50, and someone else, on the other hand, is actually happy to have the digital rights. That's possible, but ultimately it's not how it's used mainly by most of the brands we're working with at the moment.
Great, thanks so much, Luc. I think we have some more questions, but I'm gonna go through the other presentations with everyone, so everybody gets the same amount of time. We're not running out of time at the end of this conversation, but I think we can pick up some of the questions at the end. So thanks so much again, Luc. This was a really interesting presentation. And next up is Maxime, please, from Sparrow / Urbanomica, and please get on a stage and share your presentation.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you very much. Thanks for this opportunity to present our project, which called Urbanomica, and it's powered by Sparrow proof of concept. And this project is basically a little bit at early stage, not like other project with pretty advanced products and investment. So we're presenting here a very conceptual projects that basically have a great proof of concept based on Sparrow. But this project takes us into a little bit different discussion, which is touch base with sustainable development goals of global awareness for the air pollution, for different problems into the cities, and we're trying to tackle and to be aligned with those goals, and we're trying to create different bridges and connect between different stakeholders in order to execute and activate different processes that currently they completely stuck and there's a big gap between them. So let's jump directly into the problem. We have lots of urbanization problems which related to the growth of people living in cities. Those urbanization creates a lot of problems in air pollution, in noise, in different urban problems in general. Municipalities literally cannot offer right solutions because they cannot measure it properly street by street, and they cannot really understand what's going on. All the measurements they're taking are very static, and they remain within particular places. There is great amount of punitive approach, which suggest a lot of fines, a lot of restriction, and a lot of problems without really providing proper solution. And of course, there is a gap between the progress and realization, because we see many different initiatives. We see a lot of startups that are trying to solve the problem, but they're not reaching out for the citizens. And the citizens themselves a lot aware and really try to help and try to participate, but there is no platform, no opportunity to do so. So basically, there is big disconnection between both municipalities from one side, from other side, different stakeholders, environmental data providers, and proactive and responsible cities. As a result, we have cities that are suffering, and we have poor urban ecology, economics, recession, and social unrest altogether. So based on the solution that, oops, I'm sorry, wrong slide. Yes, this slide. Based on the proof of concepts that we did already with Sparrow, we come up with the solutions that you can see in the middle. And this solution is basically the incentive platform and the dashboard for the global urban environment, including the marketplace. We take the polluted urban environment and we allow different service providers to collect information about air pollution, noise, road, different smart cities opportunities, digital twin, and other eco data providers. We allow them to distribute this information on our platform and allow different citizens which would like to take a proactive part in solving those problems to create an incentive rewarding platform for them and reward them with a different points related to the coin, cryptocurrency, which we would like to introduce. And this cryptocurrency today we call Urban Coin. And this Urban Coin is basically an incentive reward for the measurable actions. Basically, the city residents and can get the Urban Wallet. They can choose on this platform out of different options that's suggested by the service data providers, and by creating this new type of behavior, they can literally make a change and also see this change being measured. Basically, this platform is very important for the following parties altogether, like I mentioned, municipalities, governments, which will enjoy out of enormous amount of data. The environmental experts will get great participation from the citizens that will definitely help them to solve the problem. City businesses will definitely enjoy because they will have more and more incentives coming from the citizens to spend urban coins within their chains and within their shops. And of course, the proactive and responsible citizens that really want to make a change, they will be rewarded for that, but also they will be definitely see how the actions is measurable, and they will be able to check how they made this difference. basically, if we look a little bit deeper inside of how this platform is going to work, we're going to form the way of different data providers submitting data into the data ingestions and algorithm platform, which is basically the marketplace, which will trigger a behavioral instructional signal. And then this behavior will change, create a new measurement token with ledger evaluation, and then proof of concept, which will lead to token that will definitely use into different businesses, from governmental up to retail chains, petrol, parking, etc. Sparrow proof of concept already introduced within the city. We have a Sparrow data providers that collect more than 15 different parameters, and basically we will be able to offer the tokens and urban coin to the drivers that placing the box for the air pollution parameter and different measurements that's provided by Sparrow. We already know how to attract for the treasury liquidity pool different players which are in the energy business, like companies BP, Shell, real estate companies, Airbnb, etc., in order to provide as many as possible benefits to the users. And it will be a circular type of economy which contribute to each others. The urban coin, we aim to create an utility/payment token, which will be hybrid tokens that can be good for the environmental market, means of payment for global chains, acceptance by public authorities, etc., etc. There is a very few competition on the market right now, but they exist, yet they're pretty much limited with their capabilities. It's related to the PlanetWatch and the Mobix infrastructure, but saying that they can become at certain point also our partners and not competition. We have a quick roadmap that right now we have to launch the pilot of based in Switzerland, in Geneva, where we have already Sparrow implementation. So collaboration with the Sparrow provider of their urban measurement parameters will be very solid for this pilot. We have a team which consists of myself and Olga as a co-founders. We have Florian Ducomont, legal advisor, Frederic Durer from innovation advisor from InnoSwiss, and Christopher as well from the technical point. And we're looking for anyone who have blockchain ESG solution, investment, or academical support for the partnership and collaboration on this big and very ambitious project. Thank you very much, and sorry for taking more than needed.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Maxim. And well, as you could see from the advisory slide, and full disclosure, I'm happy to advise this project, so I'm very excited about it, of course. Maybe a question that I can ask you here is, what is your target market in the first sort of in the first round? I mean, basically, do you have a focus area where you say like, okay, this is really what we want to focus on in terms of that's the most pressing problem we want to address?
Well, basically, it's related to the cities, which always address the first problem, and the first main pain for the cities is obviously air pollution. Air pollution.
Okay.
It's okay. Can you hear me right now? Yes. Yes,
Okay,
it's
so,
okay. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so basically we
Okay,
address air pollution.
We get some feedback also from, yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes, we're trying to address the measurement altogether. Today we have 15 measurements with Sparrow, and we learned that cities' biggest pain is air pollution. So we're trying to address this item. But most importantly is to see the inclusion and collaboration from proactive citizens and also citizens that would like to contribute. And this is like the first impact that we would like to make within the cities.
I would also add.
Yeah, please,
yes,
Olga.
May I? Yes. I would also add, as per target clients from the perspective of private sale or public sale, mostly from the perspective of private sale, we are more targeted to attract, as Maxim already mentioned during the presentation, various BP, Shell, petrol companies, suppliers, because for them, we believe it will be the best opportunity to represent their corporate social responsibility behavior and programs. And in somehow it will help to start this circular economy based on them. So they could actually add value in the treasury and provide some liquidity pool. By doing this, they will help cities, and by attracting people and the citizens, which could also collaborate during while payments for fuel, etc. So basically, the exact and the best probably example of this kind of circular economy. So I would say the target group is petrol companies, oil companies.
Right. Great. So you're really building something that brings together data-driven urban, let's say, or environmental improvements with the different stakeholders. So it's really also, in a sense, it's a community project and economics driven by tokenomics. So very fascinating and highly promising project. We're seeing also some feedback from the chat. Great project, says 16. Hi, 16, by the way. Thanks for joining. And thanks everybody for joining us here tonight. This is fantastic. We have a good number of people and everybody's staying. So that's great. We sometimes see those numbers dropping. So keep it going. We have one more super exciting project to look at tonight. And that's Ferdinand from Allianceblock. And I'd like to ask you to come on the stage and share your screen, Ferdinand, and talk to us about Allianceblock and what the solution is that you're providing to the community.
Yeah, would be happy to. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Allianceblock was really born out of the idea of bridging the worlds of decentralized finance and traditional finance. So today I want to talk a bit about who we are and where we came from, our offering, and then our ecosystem and partners and how they enable us to grow. Our team is really centered around our two founders, Rashid Ajaja and Matthijs de Vrij. So Rashid is our CEO. He has a past in quantitative analytics at various investment banks. And Matthijs has a past in software development, having worked at various projects and having led various projects in that world. They are surrounded by the other executives from the world of research, data, also from the world of financial technology. So really, really good group of people. And I'm very happy to be working with all of them. Just an explanation to our brand, Allianceblock is the decentralized infrastructure solutions provider, while Devraj is the technology professional service provider. Devraj basically is leveraging Allianceblock infrastructure in order to build software. Now a little bit to as where we come from. Our two founders really met in 2018 in various Telegram groups, connected quite quickly around the idea and the potential of decentralized finance and the benefit it brings. They then met, and really in those initial meetings, the idea of Allianceblock was born. We then founded our company in Utrecht in the Netherlands, and where our development is still to this day. We grew a lot, we made some mistakes, but through the help of various incubators, we really made it through that difficult part and figured out and really craved our part. A really highlight on our part was the release of our ALBT token, which to this day we're very, very proud of and is at the heart of all of our products. We then started to build out various collaborations and partnerships in order to expedite our roadmap, but also leverage technologies in the market in order to become more efficient and simply more attractive to clients. We then opened our operational arm in Zug. This is Devraj AG, and very happy to be part of Crypto Valley and also this association, being able to introduce ourselves today here. Yeah, to our protocol, the Allianceblock offering, it's really centered around 3 product layers. The first one being regulatory and compliance, the second one being data, and then the DeFi applicative layer being the third one. the regulatory and compliance layer really enables regulated and compliant access to DeFi, which is essential for institutional clients to enter into the space. This is made out of our trusted identity verification solution, as well as our cross-border regulatory framework, basically enabling regulated entities and banking clients to access this space. So therefore providing KYC and AML, all the essentials of the market. The data layer is really around our data CASA, which acts very similar to a Bloomberg terminal, basically through one API, providing decentralized data to an organization, therefore enabling financial institutions to work with the data, building strategies upon that data, and creating DeFi projects, DeFi strategies. The data tunnel is a product that takes the data from various data pools, aggregates them, puts them into one language, and therefore making it usable and workable for the organization. So this really goes beyond finance and can be used in a series of use cases. Our DeFi layer is really centered around our product, our bridge, our liquidity mining as a service solution, our DEX and our funders solution, which is our peer-to-peer lending and investment platform, and they're all centralized in our DeFi terminal. So I'll be talking a little bit about some of the use cases. So what does liquidity mining as a service mean? Liquidity mining, I think, enables basically for a token to be listed on a decentralized exchange, and what it does is it guarantees there's a certain amount of liquidity and therefore consistency in the market. This solution really leverages our bridge to make it interoperable. Therefore, we are able to offer this solution and these liquidity mining campaigns on various blockchains. Our DEX leverages this solution because we also provide some of these pools on our DEX, and it is then all centralized and made available to the client through the terminal. Our funder solution, as I said, is a peer-to-peer lending platform and investment platform. So this really leverages various of our products. To one point, in order to make it compliant, in order to allow traditional financial institutions like banks here in Switzerland to access this, it needs to be compliant, and this is where the trusted identity verification and the cross-border regulatory framework comes in. So basically our compliance layer, and then it leverages our data CASA, the bridge, and the DEX. So this is a little bit an image where it shows what our DeFi term is and what solutions are part of it. So it really encompasses a lot of our products, and we see it as really the enablement and the infrastructure of the future investment bank. Because through our products, we can really enable these use cases. So the use cases that we see today in traditional finance, it's investments, borrowing and lending, financing of products, collateralization, royalty payments. We are now going also into real estate. Therefore, we're talking about the tokenization of real estate. We're talking about the tokenization of art and other unbankable assets. So, for example, if somebody has a nice car collection at home, we're now able to tokenize them and really make them work for the client rather than having the asset just in a garage stored away. So this is really where we see the future going, and we want to enable that with our technology. Speaking about our technology, we would not have been able to build what we have built so far without our partners. So this is really, this is our ecosystem that is very close to our heart. We want to work with partners, or we need to work with partners in order to bring out these products and make these products in a way where they are to the wishes of our clients. Beyond our product partners, however, we're also very, very interested in cementing ourselves in the ecosystem that is the Crypto Valley, that is Switzerland, but also beyond. So we're talking to government organizations, we're talking to universities here in Switzerland to further the education about decentralized finance. As we're working with blockchain, it is also very important for us that we're working with green technology partners in order to make sure that we're really heading into the right direction. And this is also why we're here today and part of Crypto Valley Association. And this is really a listing of our partners. So I think a lot of familiar names for I hope a lot of you, but also there should be some names, or there are some names on there that are very familiar and from the Crypto Valley as well. With that, I hope I stayed within the time limit. I'd be happy to take your questions. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ferdinand, for this engaging presentation and frankly very fascinating. First of all, I also want to just say this to all of the presenters. You guys did a great job, all of you staying within the 7 minutes, which is super nice because it helps us to have some time for discussion. Ferdinand, great job on this one and absolutely fascinating collection of products. I can see just so many applications right there, and I think we all, I guess, most people in this room here or around this virtual table would agree that we are transitioning into transitioning clearly also the investment bank functions into the next generation, so to speak, into the future, and looks like your services can be a key part of this transition. So fantastic. I have one question that I want to get started on while I'm also checking out a little bit what's going on in the chat here. But so when you analyze, so your vision, of course, is to bridge those two worlds, traditional finance and decentralized finance. If you would have to pick one or two main barriers between those two worlds, what would they be right now, today?
Yeah, I think that's a very fair question, and this is really where we center, or where we build our products around, and what's very at the center of what we do. So I'd mentioned three. So the first one is that the lack of adoption. So a lot of people still are very unfamiliar with decentralized finance means. We are learning that in a lot of conversations that we're having now, and there's a lot of interest out there, but people simply don't know how to do, I mean, what it is in the first step. Then once they figured it out, it's how can we access it. The second one being it's quite difficult to access. So working with MetaMask, things like that, requires some technological expertise and also some knowledge. So it's not just like opening an app on your phone that we're all familiar with and really where it should be. So we're working with great partners there to improve user experiences. We're working with Clay there, who are a big part of what we do and a big partner of ours. And we think we really do a good job in that, in enabling all sorts of clients, users at the end of the day. And then the third layer is really, and this speaks to the sort of the mass adoption of the institutional clients to be able to enter the space, is the compliancy layer. And this is why we have a product layer specific for that. We say these clients, and this money simply has to be regulated. It is regulated, and whatever they do needs to be regulated as well. So this is very, very important. And this goes beyond to sort of, of course, we can, as single users, are now able to use decentralized finance products. But if the big organizations want to take part here, this has to be compliant.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes total sense to me. No, great. So I have one question here, and I think that's is a little bit of a horizontal question in a certain sense, because someone asked here from the chat, why do you talk about trustless? And I think that's something that people who are not totally familiar with the environment or with the space are sometimes puzzled by that, because isn't this about trust? What does it mean, trustless here? Maybe you can just shed light on that real quick for us.
Yeah, we've also thought about rephrasing that a little bit, because it does raise a lot of eyebrows. But what trustless speaks to at the end of the day is that there's no intermediary that you need to trust, right? It's all on a blockchain, and you don't need that. You can basically verify yourself without trusting one entity. And rather than going to that one entity, it's about trustless verification. You can verify yourself on that basis alone.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's what that means in the context of decentralized web or decentralized finance. It's really about disintermediation, I guess. Another way of saying this.
Exactly.
So yeah, so basically, we are looking into a future that's that where compliance is also something that is automatic, that is done for you and sort of translates between those two. So you have a little bit of a translation, and it's like Google Translate between two financial systems, if I may be as that's a little simplification, of course, but I think it's an extremely important helper, especially in this time between, this in between time that we're right now, and enabling the future here. Absolutely fascinating. And I think that's also one, if I may just kind of take the projects that we heard about today, take those together. I mean, all of them are in one way enabling the future, and I think that's what makes this space so fascinating and also so powerful, right? Because I think all these projects, all these companies around the table here tonight, they're all building the future of whether it's finance, whether it's high performance computing, luxury goods, the bridging between goods in the real world and in the metaverse, and of course also sustainability in urban environments. Absolutely hot questions, and it's great to see that we're building here in this community. We're building solutions for all of that. And if you look at this, you can also see some connections between the projects. So I would also encourage, obviously, the projects to talk to each other, the companies, and perhaps there are some cool collaborations that can be done. Are there any more questions from the audience? Yeah, please drop them. It's like your last chance here to drop a question in the Q&A or in the chat if you want. I already kind of wrote that in the chat, but also if you want to drop your LinkedIn profile or any contact info that you would like to throw in there, I think that'd be great also for future connections. I think the chat will be available, the chat history, at least for the presenters, so they can get back to you actually, or copy paste it into their own notebooks right now. Okay, we have no more questions. People seem to be excited about this. I'm getting also on my phone, I'm getting some really good feedback. So I would like to thank all of you for your amazing presentations, all four companies and projects. Super enlightening, and I think it was a great start to the Open Stage Night, and I hope some of you guys are going to be back and giving us updates on what happened since the first round. And again, use this as a means to really engage with the community. And I would also like to thank the audience, everybody who tuned in tonight, because you are part of this community and you're making all of this happen, and you also give this encouragement and feedback to people who are out there and building, risking, sweating, and building the future. And you guys are part of this, so it's fantastic. Thank you so much. And also from CVA, thanks to everybody. And please stay in touch on all the channels, interact with us. We're super happy if we have a lively community, and we want to help, of course, everyone to connect. So thanks so much. Have a wonderful evening, and see you soon.